Namaste. Hello everyone. Welcome to Shail Gulhati, Shiva and Mysticism for another episode of Monday with Mahadev. Today I am sharing with you yet another beautiful picture that I saw on Facebook on which I wanted to talk to you. We can see this is a beautiful temple of Lord Shiva, and the image of Lord Shiva seated in dhyana is coming on to the temple. This is the temple of Shiva in Murudeshwar in south of India, and it is a beautiful temple, and on the outer premises of the temple there is a huge statue of Lord Shiva sitting in dhyana, quite like this, but it has been constructed in such a way that at a particular point, when the sun is at a particular point, the shadow of the statue of Lord Shiva falls beautifully on the building of the temple. And this is a mesmerizing sight to see, one that evokes Vismay Yog Bhumika, a wonder, and that wonder takes us to a state of yoga, to a state of communion with God. Now, this is very pretty to look at, very nice to look at, how the image of Lord Shiva superimposes itself on the temple as though it is seated in the heart of the temple, as though it is the very spirit of the temple itself. But this leads us to yet a higher thought. If some architects, some devotees of Shiva can make a temple and a statue and position them in such a way that when the sun shines on it in a particular way, the shadow will come over the temple, imagine what God Himself, the divine architect, the divine artist, what He can do. This entire universe is Shiva's temple. Shiva is the architect of the entire universe, and he positions himself in this universe in such a way that he is at the heart of it all. Yet, we don't get to see him. Unlike the picture that I showed you, where if you walk outside the temple on the seashore, you will see this beautiful statue of Shiva in dhyana. Unlike that, in real life, when we say that the universe is the temple of Shiva, and we often go out from our homes looking for him, we don't really get to find him. So where is he? And to talk about that further, I'm going to read out a little passage to you from my first book, The Yogi and the Snake. Now, this chapter in this book, The Yogi and the Snake, which was written 25 years ago, this little chapter of about 7-8 lines is called Hide and Seek. And in this, the seeker says, "Now I know that God has a funny hide and seek game. We are told that He's everywhere, but we never get to see Him. We are told also that He dwells within us, and we find this impossible to believe. When we tire of looking for Him everywhere and make a last effort to see Him in us, He surprises us during the act of meditation, dhyana. Slowly, we begin to realize that it is true. He does dwell in us. There is a way to meet Him. Once you are sure of His identity in you as Antaryami, there is a beautiful word, Antaryami, which means He who dwells within us and rules us from within, the ruler of the universe who dwells within. So once you are sure of His identity in you because of dhyana as Antaryami, you could not ask for more, because that is a very rewarding experience. The experience of Atma Vyapti, self realization, realizing that there is a soul in us and that soul is linked to God. But He begins to show you His presence everywhere. So, the surest way to meet God is through prayer and dhyana. When we pray, we are full of devotion. When we sit in meditation, we are very receptive. We close our eyes and empty our mind of day-to-day things and just wait for a signal. People say prayer is when you talk to God and meditation is when God talks to you. So when we do our dhyana properly and that beautiful day comes, that moment comes, when we feel the presence of God within us as Antaryami, then we begin to see Him everywhere, in the clouds, in the art, in nature, in other people, in animals, in butterflies, in thoughts, emotions, in events. We begin to see the play of God everywhere. So that picture in which God has imposed Himself onto His own temple is true for God in this universe as well. When God makes this universe, He is very much present in it. But we are not able to see Him, at least in the beginning, because there is a hide and seek game going on. And the surest way to start finding Him is by dhyana. And then we realize that He is very much here, very much. His mark is on all of us, in every little thing, in every stone, in every rock, in every mountain, in the oceans. Everywhere His shadow or His presence is there. So I hope you liked this little wisdom about the picture of Shiva on the Murudeshwar temple. Join me here again next Monday, and I will be back with yet another wisdom of Mahadev for you. Om Namah Shivaya.